In this video, we will continue to simplify algebraic expressions, but we will be looking at some more complex problems. When simplifying algebraic expressions, we are looking for our like terms to combine, as we talked about in the previous video, but also sometimes we need to distribute as well when the expressions get more complicated. When we have multiple steps, you are always going to distribute first and then combine like terms second. So let's take a look at a few examples where this applies. Negative 11 plus 9 times the quantity of x plus 3. We would start this problem by distributing the 9 to the x and to the 3. If I do that first, I'm going to rewrite the problem as negative 11 plus 9x plus 27. Now that I have all of my parentheses gone, I can look for like terms. So my like terms here are negative 11 and a plus 27. If you are rewriting the problem to have the like terms together, you can do that here. Negative 11 plus 27 plus 9x. You could also put the 9x at the beginning. That's fine too. Negative 11 plus 27 gives us a positive 16. And since we have nothing to combine with the 9x, that stays the same. So for this first problem, our answer is 16 plus 9x. Let's try another one. In this first example, you would distribute the 2 to the 6 and to the 8y, giving us 12 plus 16y minus 3y. 16y minus 3y are our like terms, which are already side by side, so we are going to be able to subtract 16 minus 3 to get 13y, which is our answer for this first one. And for the second one, you would get a 7 plus 10h minus 22. And since our like terms here are the 7 and the minus 22, we are going to subtract 22 from 7, which gives us a negative 15 plus 10h. So you can write it as 10h minus 15, or you can write it as negative 15 plus 10h as well. This next example is a bit more complicated. This first part here is 3 times 2x. Now 3 times 2x, this is not the distributive property. This is just 6x. With the second part of the problem, we're subtracting this entire quantity. So what happens when we subtract a full quantity like this is that we actually have to distribute this 4 as if it were a negative 4, since we're subtracting 4 times the entire quantity. And this is where we tend to run into some difficulties. So we're going to subtract 4 times 5, which is 20. So we're doing a minus or a negative 20, plus a negative 4 times 2x, which is a negative 8x. If we are looking for like terms, we have a 6x and a negative 8x. So 6x plus a negative 8x, or you could do it as 6x minus 8x. Remember, those are the same thing, and then minus 20. Since 6 and negative 8 give us a negative 2, we have negative 2x minus 20, or negative 2x plus a negative 20. Oops. Either of those would work for your answer. Again, making sure, since we are subtracting this entire quantity, that you're distributing the negative or the minus sign with the 4. Let's give these a try. In this first example, you're going to be distributing a -6 throughout. This minus sign is going to come with the 6. So the 5, we're going to leave that there. -6 times 1 is a -6. And then minus -6 times 3x, which is a -18x. That becomes 5 minus 6 plus 18x. Be careful of those double negatives. Since 5 minus 6 is -1, we get -1 plus 18x. In this next example, we're distributing a -2 to the -3, which is 6, positive, minus a -2 times 4x, which is a -8x, and then finally plus x at the end. Again, watch out for that double negative to change that from a -8x to a plus 8x. Since 8x plus 1x is 9x, our answer here is 6 plus 9x. Which of the following expressions is equivalent to 2 times the quantity 1 minus 2n minus 5n? Since 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 2n is a minus 4n, when I combine the minus 4n and the minus 5n, I get a minus 9n. The answer is B. We could also write that this way. All right, taking a look at some word problems where we can apply this idea to writing our own expressions. If you have $D in a savings account and your sister has 25 more than you, write an expression in simplest form that represents the total amount of money in both accounts. You have D in your account. Your sister has D plus 25. Together, you have 2D plus 25. That is D plus 25. Mrs. Lang needs to put a new fence around her backyard for her dog. She knows that the width of her backyard is 10 feet more than twice the length. The length is L, feet. Write an expression in simplest form to represent the amount of fencing she will need for the yard. We know that her length is L and that the width is 10 feet more than twice the length. If I draw a picture, assuming her yard is a rectangle, L is the length, since that's what they give us, length and width, we assume it's a rectangle or a square. And the width is 10 feet more than twice the length. That's 2L plus 10. The total amount of fencing that she's going to need is the sum of all 4 sides. That would be, if I added up all of these sides. So 2L and 2L, that's 4L, plus another, that's 5L, and 6L, and 10 plus 10 is 20. So my answer is 6L plus 20 feet. Mr. Raphael needs to buy notebooks for his children to start the school year. His son Manny needs N notebooks. His daughter Daphne needs twice as many as Manny. And his older daughter Ophelia says she needs 1 fewer then 3 times as many as Manny needs. How many notebooks does he need to buy in all? Write your expression in simplest form. So we know that Manny needs N, plus Daphne needs twice as many as Manny. That's 2N, plus Ophelia needs 1 fewer than 3 times as many as Manny. That's 3N minus 1. All together, we have 1 plus 2, that's 3N, plus 3N, that's 6N, minus 1. In simplest form. This is correct, but it's not in simplest form. So the answer we're looking for here is 6N minus 1. How many notebooks do they need to buy? If Manny buys 3, or needs 3, we can take our answer from here, since that's the total of all 3 kids, and we can multiply 6 times 3 if N is representing Manny. 6 times 3 minus 1, which is 17 notebooks. Now, one other way you could do part B is you could say, okay, well, Manny is 3. I knew Daphne was twice as many as him, so that's 6. And then Ophelia is 1 less than 3 times. So 3 times 3 is 9, minus 1 is 8. I can add all of those up to get 17 as well. If you have any more questions, please see me.